What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. Finally got a podcast, at least episode 7. Today, I don't have a guest. It's just me talking to y'all. Yeah, it's just it. It's just me talking to y'all. I wasn't sure what I wanted to talk about in this podcast specifically. I guess the best thing to do, I would be to tell my story of how and why I make beats, why I make music, why I continue to make music, and what I plan to do from it. I got the idea to do this because of just the fact I've interviewed 3 people in the last 3 episodes of the podcast, and they just were telling their stories and telling all this stuff about what they wanted to do, what they enjoyed, tips for people, all things like that. And I thought about it, I was like, I realized even on the first one, I didn't exactly explain my story of why I make music. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are listening to this right now know a little bit as to why I make music or why I want to or things like that. But I thought I'd go a little bit more in depth and have y'all hear from the source of the actual person who's making the music. 'Tis I. So let's begin. See, I was born on January. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna start with back in my birthday. I'll probably say that the beginning stages of when I started to like music was when I was about 7 or 8. I think it might have been the radio, but I know it was on a commercial. But if anyone knows that Jay-Z song, and the winner is the Rock Boys song, the Rock Boys in the building tonight. I don't know, I don't remember the words to it, but that song had some really good horns. I don't know if they probably were sampled, I don't know. But the horns of that song caught my ear. And I just remember just going, whoa, that's a really cool horn section right there. I was like, that'd be awesome to hear that all the time or something like that. So I maybe had an appreciation for horns and just music in general. As I got older, by older I mean 2 years later in 2009, I remember it was after Michael Jackson had passed, and I had gotten this SpongeBob MP3 player. So I started listening to music more often. Even before then, I had a CD player, and I used to just burn CDs, just put songs on different CDs and just listen to them all day. But this time I had an MP3 player, so I didn't have to keep making CDs. But this one was a SpongeBob MP3 player from Target, and it holded about, I think, either 500 or 250 megabytes of music. Compared that to the music I listen to now, that's not a lot. But I had a lot of music on there. I think I filled it up, and I think sometimes if it was filled up, I had to take some songs out because I was like, I gotta get new music on here. So I think I always changed a couple songs, took some out, put some in. And it was around this time when I would listen to music, and I just could zone out and just envision myself being the person that people that I knew, my friends and family, could see on television and in magazines. So I was like, whoa, I think I want to do this. It was just because at that time, I wasn't really thinking about doing something in terms of a future. I always kind of how kids always said they want to grow up to be an astronaut or a teacher or firefighter, and never do it. It was about times 9 when I was I want to be for sure some type of entertainer. And I knew in this sense that music was going to be part of it. But I knew I wanted people to notice me on a grander scale than just like, oh, that's, come on, he makes music. As time goes on, as we're forwarding a year, I promise I'm not going to go like a year by year process, but I just realized like as the story goes on, it gradually got more into by the years. That's all that happened. I was like 10. My dad and I downloaded a music software called like Music Magics, something like that. It was a 30-day free trial, and I only used it for 2 days. And then never again did I use that software. Around this time, I was listening to more music. In 2010, so the most popular artists, especially in hip hop, were Lil Wayne, Drake, Nicki Minaj, Eminem, B.O.B. Probably some other people that I can't think of, but that's like what was on my iPod. Because I finally got an iPod Nano. So, slowly but surely, I was just listening to a lot more music and to a degree studying it, wanting to write, but I was never the best at writing a song, so I always would like stop and like just look at the paper and get stuck, so I couldn't write at all. I'm gonna fast forward in time to like about 13, because 11 and 12 I was just listening to music and kind of just listening to new artists, listening to new rappers like Nas and Kendrick and J. Cole and Wale and Kid Cudi and all these people. But as time went on, I realized I wanted to do music more so than anything else. I wanted to do acting also. I still want to, because acting seems like a whole lot of fun. I wanted to get into acting before I get back to my decision on music. I wanted to get into acting because I saw Marlon Wayans on Wayans Brothers, and I was like, I'm pretty goofy. I could definitely act goofy like Marlon Wayans. So that was kind of funny. Let's fast forward to 2013, summer 2013, and I started watching videos more so of producers making beats. People like J. Cole, Big Crit, Kanye West, Hit Boy. I'm trying to think of someone else. I think that was it at that time. But I couldn't think of, where to start. And I just remember somehow it got me to going on Amazon, looking at recording software, and I saw like FL Studio, the fruity edition, because there's like different editions of music software that like you have like the basic version, like the intro version, the regular, and then you have like the upgraded version that's like almost $1,000, but the intro version was like $100. So I remember I asked, could I get the fruity edition? But this is that time I wasn't like, really showing anything to prove that I wanted to make music that seriously. So I was told that I need to work for it. And it was upsetting at first. And then I kind of like got over it and kind of like reevaluated and be like, all right, I got to find a way to get FL Studio. So I continued to watch YouTube. I continued to watch YouTube. During this time, I also practiced more on my trombone. I would play little drum beats on the Yamaha keyboard that's in my house. It's still here. It's like I'm looking at it right now. And I would just do that all the time. Just make just little drum beats. I never recorded or anything about it. I was just practicing just the simplest drum beats I could do. But I knew every day I'd like envision like, okay, this drum beat, whew, wait till I get recorded software, I'm gonna make the best drum beats ever. And then I would watch and listen to songs and be so amazed by how like the production was done on there, like how they got flutes and horns on certain songs and how they had that keyboard set up and just stuff like that. So I was so amazed by the process more so than like the end product. Like if you watch the videos I watch now, if you saw the videos that I watch now, I watch a lot of videos of people making a beat. And I watch it just to see someone make a beat. Like, it's fun to watch it because the way they edit videos and things like that, but it's very interesting to see someone's process on how they make a song, more so than like, you know, just the end product of a song, because everyone hears a song, and everyone's interested in the song, but not everyone's interested in like how you made it. So I don't know, I guess that's just who I am, a person who's just interested in the process. Late 2013, around like August, September, my friend Austin Donahue, should I put his whole name out there? All right, I already did. My friend Austin, he emailed me a copy of FL Studio, and the rest is history. That is it. That's the rest of the podcast. Hope y'all enjoyed it. No, I'm kidding. But I think now was a very interesting time because I was, at that time, I was just into so much music, into so many different sounds, just hearing so many people that it was pretty surreal at that moment. I was like, whoa, I actually have FL Studio. I can actually like make beats just like, you know, some of my favorite artists. And so I started making beats. I think the day after I installed it, I started making beats. And let me tell you, those beats were absolute garbage. Like, they were just bad. They were, whew. I still have a few of them, like, I have like the MP3 files of them saved. And I can go and listen to them, stuff like that. I think I still have the hard drive from the old laptop I made the beats on. I think on my flash drive there's a few of them saved. But I remember every time I made one, I was so amazed by it because I was like, I just made this beat and it's the best beat I ever made. And that's, I think, also in my opinion, if anyone ever wants to make music, I think you should always have that kind of enthusiasm about every beat that you make. As long as you get progressively better, you don't lose that excitement of saying, oh, this is the best beat I've ever made. Because sure, the notes might be out of tune. Sure, it's a little too loud. I didn't mix it. But what do you expect from a 13-year-old who watched beat making videos but didn't watch like beat making tutorials or didn't learn music theory? Am I supposed to know the notes? Am I supposed to like really know by mixing? No, I was just having fun and it sounded good to me, but it was funny. As time went on, I was so confused, like, why does this all sound so not authentic? Like, why does this sound fake? I was like, don't all the other producers do exactly what I do? It took me a second to realize. I was like, oh, they're sampling all their stuff. And also, you can make an authentic sample, you know, make something sound like a sample, you know, through some effects and playing the instruments, you know, through the keyboard. You don't have to click it in like I was doing. But they were more than likely sampling those stuff. And I remember figuring out how to sample, and I figured out how to sample 2014. all I did, I didn't really figure it out, but I figured out the basics of literally just downloading some off YouTube, putting in FL Studio, and then trying my hardest to chop that up, or taking a portion of it and speeding it up or slowing it down. And it was a learning process, and I got better with time, obviously, as anyone else does with a lot of things if they actually want to get better with it. And yeah, I feel like I got better. I think one of the few things I started sampling first was Lana Del Rey. I sampled Young and Beautiful, the opening part, which is like, I think, just the strings and piano. And I think the next thing, I sampled that song by her. I sampled a song of hers called Brooklyn Baby. And then I sampled West Coast and Florida Kilos, which I think I talk about that way too often that it just turned to West Coast Kilos, part 1, the one that came out 2015. Those the first few times I keep saying the first few times I was like, okay, this sample actually sounds good. Let's see where I can go with this. I just added drums to it. It was just a loop of a sample with some drums, so it wasn't much going on with it. But it was very fun to make it. And I made that, and I was working on other beats, not using samples, just using random sounds, trying to make melodies, not knowing if the notes go with each other, but they sounded good, so the notes went with each other in my head. And just as time went on, I just ended up making 9 tracks. So I ended up with my first beat tape. I feel like I just like flowed through all that, but it really was just because from 2013 to 2015, I literally was just making beats. I would spend my weekends making beats. Monday through Friday afternoon, I'd go to school. I might do my homework when I come back home. Really wasn't the biggest on doing homework, being honest. And then Friday nights, I'll wake up maybe on a Saturday morning, spend my whole Saturday in the living room, I'd make a beat. That was almost like once a week. That's what I always do. And it was just routine. It was just repetition. I just got better at it, you know? Like, it's not, if you listen to Lost in My Imagination, the first beat tape I ever put out, is it the best thing you'll ever hear? Probably not. Is it good compared to my other stuff that I released later on in life? No. But the point about that project to me was, one, it was a good debut for me. And 2, I thought at that time that was some of my best stuff to put out, which in fairness, it was. And I don't think anyone would like debate that with me. Y'all haven't heard any of my other stuff that I put out during that time. But I would constantly just release stuff. If I made the beat, boom, I was putting it on SoundCloud. So a few of those things you probably heard before. I put it out on Lost in My Imagination, but then I put a whole like 3, 4, 5 tracks extra on there. It's funny listening back to it. I've listened to it. I don't think I listened to it this year, but I think I listened to it last year. It's not the worst thing I've heard. Like, I think because like me focusing on the drums and the fact that the drums stayed on beat, because I don't think I played drums by hand when I was doing this. I was playing the drums, I'd click them in so they were quantized, meaning they stayed on beat, so they were on the grid, so they stuck on beat. I think that the drums were like the biggest selling point. I think they were loud, aggressive, but it pushed every single track forward. And I'm not upset with that. Excuse me, I'm gonna take a drink. Shout out to Juice. So, today's sponsor, Juice and water. Alright, now Juice and water. Pay me, please. Back to the story of me rambling about my first mixtape, beat tape, whatever. Yeah, I like, in the end, I just have no regrets of it. I'm actually really proud of just the fact that I was able to put it out there. Like, being vulnerable to put your best beat out is not the same feeling as being vulnerable to put your voice out, as I've done twice. But putting my beats out at first and putting it out on like a instrumental project like that, it was really cool. I have no regrets. If I had known one thing, I would have known how to mix a little bit better. But that came with time. As time goes on, we get better. Speaking of which, as time went on, I got better. Obviously. 2016 was it's gonna be weird saying this now because of just time out. Okay, during that time from 2016 to 2017, I think I was making some of my best beats ever, and I'll tell you why. I think it's still on my channel. I think it's still on my SoundCloud. There's a beat on there called Christmas. It's a sample of, I think, Christmas Time by, I don't even want to know. I don't know the person's name, but I wish I could, like, I got my laptop right here, so, you know, I can look it up. But I can't remember what the name of the person was whose song that is. I think it's just called Christmas Time, but I can't remember who made the song. It's Amy Mann and Michael Penn, Christmas Time. That took a second. Yes? I sampled a song called Christmas Time by Amy Mann and Michael Penn. It made a beat called Christmas. I'm original, as you can see, guys. I don't know why, but I think the way it didn't take long. It took me like 30 minutes to make. It's literally just the sample and drums. It's my usual formula. It's tried and true. But I think it was like one of my best beats that I made at that time. As time went on, I just gradually got better. Again, I just keep saying that you just get better with time. That's like kind of a normal thing when you actually want to work for something hard. Work hard for something. 2017, I just started working on a whole lot more music, especially just like more beats. And I was making Summertime Vibes at the time. Volume 1. There's a Volume 2 coming out. I don't know when, but we're going to talk about Volume 1 right now. Volume 1, I think the idea started when I made Fall On Me, which samples SWV's Rain, if I'm correct. I just I remember listening to it. I made that beat because I was listening to a lot of Tory Lane's Chick Stay 4 during the summer, and I knew that he sampled like '90s and early 2000s R&B songs and kids shows apparently too. So I was listening to a lot of that. So this sample kit that I had took a bunch of specific loops from like 90 songs. So it had that song on there, had Rain by SWV on there. So I just used it. Again, considering it one of my favorite beats that I made at that time, I thought it was pretty good. And then just as time has went on, I just kept making more beats for that project. I was like really focused on putting out that beat tape, but I did not put it out till like October of 2017, funny enough. But I'll probably say even to this day, because of the projects I put out, I've only really put out like 2 official projects. Everything else was kind of like for fun, not really me taking it seriously. It's my favorite out of the 2 because of the fact it shows the growth more, that okay, this is different than the first one. I learned a little bit how to mix more. It's really simple. Like so many samples in there that I don't think I could ever put that on any streaming platform because I'd probably get. I literally, I don't think anything on there has. Every track on there has a sample on it, so I was like, I can't put this anywhere else. So it's just on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. But I probably should take out Bandcamp because of the samples. But I probably think of it like as one of my favorite projects. I think it still holds up as being really good, and I think it, to me, I think all the beats represent how the summer feels to me, at least. Fun fact, I was planning on like singing and rapping on that whole entire thing, but I never got around to it. Yeah, I just never did. And then, I released like another little tape called Murray Chrysler. If anyone knows that Vine, the word it said Murray Chrysler. That's why I called it that. But it's just like 5 tracks. And I did that for fun. I put that at the end of the year, 2017. I think I actually put it out on Christmas Day. So, hey, not bad. And then 2018, I didn't do much beat making. I didn't do much beat making until till about October of that year. I was getting more into like a very chill, lo-fi kind of vibe, to the point that's all I was really making. I wasn't making any other type of genre of music. That year I got a laptop, got an audio interface, I got Ableton, and I felt I was going in like the right direction I wanted to go towards in terms of like making music. And I think I was going just in the right places, I'm trying to make this as condensed as possible, but still trying to like explain my story, and I feel like I'm just rambling on. Hopefully I'm not. 2019, started going to school, college. First semester, I wasn't doing my major yet, but I was just taking some classes, chilling, and making music. Started uploading to my YouTube channel, things like that. And I was just working on some music. Around this time, 2019, I started also. I made a DistroKid account so that way I could upload my music on like Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, all that stuff. To which now you can listen to 3 of my tracks on Spotify. the next, like, just as 2019 was very, like, in terms of releasing stuff, I didn't do much till towards the end of the year when I did my 14-day experiment, as I delved so deeply into on the episode titled The 14-Day Experiment, where I just released a track for 14 days straight. I was pretty proud of that. Kind of put me in the groove of, putting out more stuff. As you can see, I haven't put out that much stuff. And here we are in 2020. I have released 3 projects out on Spotify, off different streaming platforms. I got 2 of my tracks on some lo-fi playlists. They're not like Spotify curated playlists, but they are some Spotify playlists with a good bit following. So I'm pretty happy about that. And now here we are in 2020. And I, like always, am currently working on some music. And just thinking back about like the past, like 7 years since I've been making music. It's been a very interesting ride and journey so far to where I am right now. Made me think about my goals and what I wanted to achieve. And I think, like, just at the end of the day, I think my goal has always been the same: to let people have fun with whatever I'm doing, whether that is my music, or if I choose to go into a different art form such as acting or different stages of performing or entertainment. I want to leave an impact, leave a good impression. And that's just something I've always thought makes a lot more sense. Just from like the artists I listen to, I think they leave an impact on a lot of people. They left an impression on me to the point where I've listened to their music and tried to imitate it through my instrumentals. So they obviously did something, right? And I kind of wanted to be able to do the same thing. And now I'm currently working on just making my YouTube channel a little bit more bigger, going to a bigger audience to help out like a next young producer who feels a similar way as I did, still do, honestly, of wanting to do something in whatever career path people choose to do. I want to be able to help you and motivate those through like just my own story and my own videos and my projects and stuff like that. And you also might be asking yourself, well, what about any project you're working on, like Sunday Morning Coffee, Summertime Vibes Volume 2, and stuff like that? First of all, juice. Second of all, they will come out. Sunday Morning Coffee will come out, but I've just, been procrastinating and not really working hard towards it. Mainly because I'm just trying to figure out what I want it to sound like. I know I want it to sound very chill and lo-fi, but I was always wondering, how far should this go, and what is the actual sound, the actual instruments I want played for these tracks, the feeling that I want from it. I think I'm getting to where I want from that. Summertime Vibes Volume 2. It'll come out. It'll come out when it's supposed to come out. That's all I can say for that one. Let time do its thing, you know what I'm saying? If I had any tips for anyone who would, before I go away, if I had any tips for anyone getting into music, have fun. That would be like the main thing. Have fun. If you're gonna do this strictly for money and just to make a profit off of it, but you're not doing it out of love, I wouldn't do it. Because this isn't a get rich quick kind of career. Because that's gonna take a while too. Because fads come and go. So you trying to be the next one-hit wonder is gonna be kind of hard. I probably suggest if you're gonna do it, put your heart into this and don't think dollars. Think just about the music. If you're gonna start off in the beginning, just know that you don't need all this equipment that you have or that I have, even in this video. It's accumulated over time. And I slowly just got it on my own. You can make beats on your phone. If you got an iPhone, you can use GarageBand. It's free. You got an Android, you can use something free. I can't remember what the free ones are, but you could pay like $15 and get FL Studio Mobile. It works pretty well. Take your time, be patient. Some people go quicker than others, some people don't. Figure out what you like. If you like so many different genres of music, that's probably better, because then you can always switch things up. And in the beginning, I wouldn't really care about what anyone thinks of the music, because they didn't make it, you made it. That's all I had to say, but man, I guess towards the end of these I do the rapid fires. I don't know, I guess I'm just gonna spew some fun facts on here. Aside from music, I like anime and professional wrestling. My favorite professional wrestlers are CM Punk, Chris Jericho, Randy Orton, Kofi Kingston, Jeff Hardy, and Shelton Benjamin. My top 6 favorite. And I don't think that list has ever changed for like the past 2 years. Favorite anime, Cowboy Bebop. Favorite anime movie is Akira. Just pretty good. First anime I ever watched was Dragon Ball Z. That's what really got me into it. And then I watched Cowboy Bebop and then maybe watch other ones. Favorite movie is Ray. Fun fact, my favorite movie is Ray. I don't know if y'all heard in the last podcast I did with my brother, I said my top 5. My top 5 are Ray, Pulp Fiction, and Kill Bill, Akira, Sleepaway Camp. Fun fact about me just going on right now, I do this fun thing where I watch a movie every Friday night. I just call it Friday Night Movie Night. It started off with me watching Akira, watching me something I'm familiar with. And then I think the next week I watched Sleepaway Camp 2. It's funny, but it's not as good as the first one. I watched American Psycho, The Usual Suspects, and Rocket Man. I watched Rocket Man. And then last Friday I watched 2 movies. I watched not another teen movie, and I haven't watched that movie in 5 years. And that movie's so goofy that I just couldn't stop laughing at it. And the second movie I watched that night was Carrie, and it's not as scary as I thought it would be, but it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. And yeah, I don't know what I'm watching this Friday, but I'm watching something that someone recommended me, so we'll see how that goes. I'm just trying to think of just fun facts for y'all. My favorite genre of music is neo soul, which is it's just like Erykah Badu, Maxwell, D'Angelo, people like that. My favorite album that I've liked from this year, so far, it's Logic's No Pressure. I think it's a really good album. Even though it just came out a couple days ago, it's one of my favorite albums I've listened to this year. No, that and Dua Lipa's album. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I hope I said that right. Favorite artist of all time is Kid Cudi. My top 5, I think I have top 6 favorite artists. Kid Cudi, Prince, Michael Jackson, Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain, and Mac Miller. I'm trying to think of another thing. I'm 6 foot. That's a fun fact. I guess. I can draw. I like to read. I don't know. I'm kind of fishing at barrels here. I drink juice. I breathe air. That's a fun fact. I think a lot of people don't acknowledge that's a fun fact. I drink water. Yeah, that's about it. Oh, also, I quote SpongeBob way too much. That's another fun fact. And I think I'm just gonna end off on these interesting facts. I don't even know if they're fun anymore. Just interesting facts. Thank y'all so much for your time. Hope y'all enjoyed this podcast. Let me know if y'all like this setup where the camera is over there. I'm sorry for not looking around. I was spacing out thinking about my story. Hopefully I was a little bit concise and hopefully y'all learned something from it. But I think the main takeaway from the whole thing was just work hard at something that you really desire to doing. You'll progress and get better at it until you finally achieve it. And I think that's where a lot of people fail at, is where we just stop desiring something, or the desire doesn't go as far as we thought it would, so we just give up. My desire is still strong, my passion is still strong, and that's the one thing I told myself, was I was never going to let anyone tear away my passion and my love for music. So that's why I keep going and why I keep doing music. And that's why I know I will succeed at it, and succeed in the way that I know, or what I want that success to be. Also, I just believe in myself. Y'all have a great day. Sorry this podcast came in a little bit late. Again, procrastination, but I'm putting these out on every Monday, and I hope y'all enjoy it. Have a great day. Peace out. Bye.